Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something I bet most people completely take for granted. We're going to completely redefine cleaning. We're moving way beyond this idea of cleaning as just some basic daily chore, and we're looking at it for what it truly is, a highly structured operational discipline. Professional commercial cleaning is actually a complex system, and it's designed to protect public health, preserve facility assets, and ensure safety. So let's dive right into this masterclass. Here's how our progression is going to unfold today. We'll start with the science of cleaning, move through essential chemical safety protocols, break down standard operating procedures, examine workflows and infection control, and finally, we'll look at advanced equipment and systems. We're building straight from foundational hygiene science right up to advanced productivity. So let's get into it with Section 1, the science of cleaning, the real foundations of facility hygiene. To really set the stage here, we've got to establish that true commercial cleaning is absolutely nothing like residential cleaning. We aren't just, sweeping dust under a rug or doing a frantic quick wipe down before company arrives. It's a system-driven, compliance-oriented profession. So, let me ask you a really critical question. What is the actual difference between cleaning and disinfecting? It sounds basic, right? But the amateur assumption is that these two words mean the exact same thing. Let me tell you, they absolutely do not. And misunderstanding this, well, that's where most facilities completely fail. Here's that core distinction. Cleaning is really just the physical removal of visible soil, dirt, and debris from a surface. It's just making it look nice. Disinfecting, on the other hand, is the active process of killing invisible pathogens and managing environmental hygiene. So the big takeaway here is that professional cleaners don't just make things look pretty. They are literally frontline defenders actively managing invisible health risks. Let's ground this in reality for a second. Consider this real-world case study of a corporate office. They were experiencing repeated employee infection outbreaks, even though they were cleaning every single day. Well, when investigators actually looked into it, the failures boiled down entirely to amateur habits. They found reusable cloth contamination, basically spreading germs from room to room. They found incorrect disinfectant dilution, which rendered the chemicals completely useless. And they found neglected high touch points, things like door handles and light switches. This right here is exactly what happens when you just clean, instead of systematically disinfecting. Moving on to Section 2, Essential Chemical Safety Protocols. This is all about protecting the practitioner. Listen, before a single drop of cleaning solution is ever deployed, keeping the practitioner and the public safe is absolutely the highest priority. You literally cannot talk about chemical safety without understanding COSH. That stands for the Control of Substances Hazardous to Health. It's this vital regulatory framework designed to protect people against immediate or delayed health risks from replaced substances. The commercial cleaning environment is governed by strict compliance, and COSH, it's the absolute bedrock of that safety. Out in the field, there are absolute, non-negotiable rules derived from expert guidelines. You must always read the safety data sheets. Never, ever mix chemicals because you want to avoid lethal gas reactions, and always wear your required PPE. But take a look at that last bullet point. This is a top-tier expert tip. When you're manually diluting a chemical, always add water to the bottle first, and then add the chemical. Why? Because if you do it the other way around, you risk concentrated, hazardous chemicals splashing right back into your eyes. Nobody wants that. And that leads us perfectly into this quote from our source material. More chemical does not always do a better job, but the right amount will. This hits the nail on the head and corrects one of the absolute most common beginner mistakes in the industry. People just assume, hey, pouring in extra concentrate will kill more germs or clean faster. In reality, overuse damages surfaces, it leaves these sticky residues that actually attract more dirt, and it totally wastes your operational budget. Precision is literally everything here. All right, Section 3, Standard Operating Procedures explained. Let's talk about systematizing the work. If there is just one thing you take away from this explainer today, let it be this. Seasoned professionals do not guess. They systematize the work. They follow the SOP. Take a look at this framework from a Ministry of Health Infection Prevention and Control Manual. At the highest level, environmental cleaning programs require designated management, strict budgets, continuous training, and really rigid policies. It's a highly, highly formalized structure. And to maintain that structure, every single action requires a documented standard operating procedure or SOP. A true professional SOP includes a clear task description, a list of required equipment and PPE, specific safety precautions, and a step-by-step procedure for execution. Without these structured documents, well, worker performance just varies wildly. Mistakes increase, and your risk of contamination goes right through the roof. Systems guarantee consistency. Let's move to Section 4, Workflows and Infection Control. This is the anatomy of a clean. So shifting from the paperwork to the actual physical execution of the job, professional workflows follow a very strict spatial logic. Step 1, always work from clean to dirty. You clean the most pristine areas first and then move toward the most soiled areas, like exiting through a doorway. That prevents you from dragging contamination backward. Step 2, work from high to low. You dust the top of the cabinets way before you vacuum the floor. Why? Because gravity works. Working high to low lets the dust fall naturally, so you only have to clean that floor once. Another massive, game-changing workflow upgrade is the color coding system. This methodology maps specific colored cloths and mops to specific risk zones. For example, you might use red for washrooms and blue for general office areas. This acts as a really powerful visual failsafe. A cleaner is never going to accidentally use a restroom cloth on a break room counter if they're following the color rules. It completely prevents cross-contamination while greatly boosting the professional appearance of the whole operation. Now, we absolutely have to talk about dwell time. Dwell time is the required duration a chemical disinfectant must remain visibly wet on a surface to actually neutralize pathogens. Listen, if you spray a desk and immediately wipe it dry with a paper towel, you are literally just moving wet germs around. The chemical actually needs time to break down the cell walls of the bacteria. Understanding dwell time is one of those key things that completely separates the amateurs from the true professionals. Finally, Section 5, Advanced Equipment and Systems. Driving efficiency. Up to this point, we've talked a lot about methodology. Now we need to talk about the tools, because let's be real, consumer-grade mops and buckets simply cannot deliver commercial-grade results, and they definitely can't deliver operational profitability. When we scale up to medium and large facilities, we rely on heavy-duty machinery. Auto scrubbers are the absolute workhorses for hard floor maintenance, completely taking over where manual mopping fails. Meanwhile, orbital machines provide incredible versatility for scrubbing and polishing without leaving those amateurish swirl marks behind. Selecting professional equipment dramatically outpaces outdated, labor-intensive tools. And here is the metric that proves it. 1. That is the exact number of passes an auto scrubber needs to make to dispense fresh cleaning solution, aggressively scrub the floor, and vacuum up the dirty water, leaving the floor totally dry and safe. Just think about the massive productivity and ergonomic ROI there. You've got one machine doing the job of 3 manual processes simultaneously. It saves workers' backs, and it saves the business an incredible amount of time. And you know what? The industry is only getting more advanced. We are rapidly moving into the era of smart cleaning tech. We're seeing IoT-enabled equipment that tracks usage, robotic scrubbers that autonomously clean massive warehouses overnight, occupancy sensors that tell cleaning staff exactly which restrooms were used and which ones they can just skip, and AI workflow management. Make no mistake, automation is actively reshaping the future of facility maintenance right now. So, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. Ask yourself, or better yet, ask your facility manager, does your facility just wipe surfaces to make things look tidy, or do you have a system in place to actively manage environmental hygiene? Because the difference between the two isn't just a matter of cleanliness, it is absolutely a matter of health, safety, and professional excellence. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this completely changes how you view the environments you walk into every single day.